You are listening to a CBS News special report with President Joe Biden.
Thanks for joining us for Live at 4. President Biden just announced he'll be ordering 200 million more vaccines from Moderna and Pfizer. He's also increasing the weekly allocation from more than 8 million to 10 million. We'll find out what this means for Wisconsin coming up with Dr. Jeff Potta from the UW. That's coming up in this hour. Here's what's making news on this Tuesday. The snow has moved out and now the cleanup begins. But when will your street be cleared?
It's a good question, isn't it? And the Wisconsin Department of Health Services has announced who will get COVID-19 vaccines in the next phase.
And in Washington, all 100 senators are sworn in as jurors in the second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. But first, some parts of our area woke up to a lot of snow this morning.
And we have team coverage this afternoon as crews dig the city out. But first, let's go to Dana Fulton, who is on the weather patio. Dana, are we done with the snow for now?
Are done for now. Yes, quite a bit for some areas. Some folks only picking up a few inches, but others a little bit of a dig out for this morning. As we take a look at some of our highest totals, Horicon almost 9.5 inches of snow last night. Mineral Point almost 9 inches. Back here out on the patio, we measured 7.5. McFarland at about 7.25. So a very snowy night and morning for that middle band of southern Wisconsin. But areas off to the northwest of Dane County and southeast looking into Rock County, not quite as much. The other thing along with this, not just a snow cleanup, but we had blowing snow concerns this morning. Those wind speeds still generally in the teens. Thankfully starting to die down for us overnight after what was a gusty start to the day. Wind gusts creeping into the low 30s for Madison earlier this morning. Now the wind gusts not much of a concern for us as we look ahead to tonight. Also not expecting any more snow to build in as our radar is now nice and quiet. But as we look at this next 10 days, notice we have a few more snow chances for the weekend and again for the middle of next week. So what we have on the ground, it's only going to be added to as we look ahead through that 10-day forecast. Tonight, again, maybe an early flurry or two, but otherwise becoming partly cloudy and just cold outside. Things have generally stopped falling from the sky at this point. Looking at Dane County, the roads, the Beltline at least, overall fairly clear. I know some on and off ramps can get a little slushy in spots when we do have a lot of snow coming through. As we look closer to the Middleton area, 14 swerving off there. It does start to get backed up as we get a little more snow accumulation, but the major arteries downtown right now do look okay. Just maybe reduce your speed a little bit this evening if you're traveling around, as things are still slick in spots. In fact, Brady Mallory has a little closer look at the bigger picture and the interstate situation right now, especially towards the southwest. Brady?
Yeah, well, like you said, it never hurts to be careful, especially when we haven't been used to snow a lot this winter. But if we zoom out a little bit, we can see, you know, in the Baraboo area and kind of around here around the Madison area, it's in purple. So that means that the streets, the roads are a little bit slippery in those areas. So really take your time when you're there. If we look southwest, we can see that we're having some green there, and that means road conditions are pretty good. So it's really just kind of this Madison area that right now we're seeing some of the more slippery spots. So like Dana said, be careful out there and give enough space in between your car and someone else's as you drive on these slippery streets. Charlotte?
Brady, thank you. Southern Wisconsin isn't the only place seeing snow right now. Across Nebraska, through Arizona, and into California, some areas saw whiteout conditions on roadways. In the south, severe weather touched down in several Alabama counties after a twister tore through the city of Fultondale, destroying this hotel and several homes. The National Weather Service will survey damage to determine the strength of that tornado in Alabama. Well, the snow we got over the past 24 hours left some messy road conditions for us this morning.
Yeah, especially the driveway here at News 3. Dane County Dispatch responded to a few dozen calls this morning for traffic incidents. Jamie Perez spoke to them earlier about what they experienced this morning. Jamie.
Right, well, you would think that with how much snow we got overnight, how messy the roads were, that dispatch would be responding to a ton of calls of slide-offs, accidents, or incidents this morning. But they actually told me that the number of calls they got wasn't that much, considering that they usually respond to more incidents when we just have 1 inch of snow versus several inches or a foot. But then again, we did see several incidents this morning. Dane County Dispatch did respond to several jackknifed semis, a 3-car crash on the Beltline, and several slide-offs. It's something that they said was a typical morning after a significant snow event.
That because of COVID and a lot of people aren't moving the way we'd normally be moving, it's more like a Saturday or a Sunday snow event than a weekday snow event. But we had our typical, vehicles sliding off. There was a couple of jackknife semis on the interstates that we had to, send help to.
And Paul Logan, who you just heard from, said they got several dozen calls this morning, most of them reporting the same few things. So he just wanted to send out a gentle reminder to people that if you see a car that's slid off on the side of the road or in a ditch, that look for the caution tape or some sort of marker or indicator. That usually is an indication that Dane County Dispatch already knows about it. So they just really want to avoid getting repeated calls for the same incidents, but they do appreciate people trying to help and look out for one another.
All right, thanks for the tip. Jamie Perez reporting live for us. Thank you. You can stay on top of the weather as it changes. Download the free Channel 3000 weather app from wherever you get your apps. Up-to-the-minute radar, accurate forecasts, and traffic conditions, all at your fingertips. In other news, the vaccine continues its slow rollout in Wisconsin. Nearly 70,000 people in the state have completed their vaccination process. Health officials say we've got a long way to go until we can get close to vaccinating the rest of the state's nearly 6 million residents. 14,000 people were vaccinated for the first time yesterday. After many questions and a bit of confusion over who would be next in line for a COVID-19 vaccine, DHS has announced who is in 1B.
It includes 5 groups of people, but they can't schedule their shots just yet. Amanda Quintana has the details on who is included and when they might be eligible. Amanda?
Yes, well, there are still a lot of people who are currently eligible that have not gotten the chance to get a vaccine yet. There are still people in 1A who have to get vaccinated, and then there's the hundreds of thousands of people who became eligible yesterday because they're 65 or older. So this next group that we're talking about, realistically, they won't become eligible until the beginning of March. So DHS put out this list, and they listed it in priority. So the first priority in this list is educators and childcare. That includes teachers, staff, and after-school programs like the Boys and Girls Club and YMCAs. In higher education, it's just the staff in direct contact with students. Then comes people in Medicaid long-term care programs, such as Family Care and IRIS. Then some essential workers in contact with the public, like 911 operators, bus drivers, grocery store employees, and farm owners and employees. Now remember, frontline healthcare workers were eligible in 1A, so this next group includes other healthcare workers essential to hospital operations. And lastly, people in congregate living, such as adult family homes, shelters, and prisons.
Residents of Wisconsin are still getting infected and are still dying of this virus. We need to move as quickly and equitably as possible to vaccinate Wisconsinites. And that is what we at DHS and all of our public health and healthcare partners are doing. We know this is
We have the full list of all of the people in this group on channel3000.com. It's about 600,000 people. And the state is only getting still 70,000 doses of vaccine a week. So obviously a big, big difference there. They expect to get halfway through the people 65 and older before they make this next group eligible all at once.
Amanda, thank you. 59 more people have died from COVID-19 in Wisconsin, including 14 in Dane County. That brings the state closer to 6,000 deaths since the beginning of the pandemic. Another 1,200 or so people have tested positive in just the last day. Concerns are growing over new variants of the coronavirus. A mutation first detected in Brazil has now been discovered in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Health officials say the infected person in Minnesota had recently traveled to Brazil and tested positive earlier this month.
If this variant proves to be true, like we're seeing in the UK, that it's up to 70% more infectious, we lose all of our progress.
Moderna says its COVID vaccine is effective against the UK variant found in at least 20 states, but less effective against a strain from South Africa that seems to be more contagious. The drug company is now testing a booster shot for that. Another variant, Cal 20C, is believed to be responsible for an explosion of cases in Southern California. Nationwide, vaccination sites are canceling appointments due to vaccine shortages. So far, only 6% of the U.S. population have received received at least one dose of the vaccine.
The president continues to work with governors and members of Congress on his coronavirus agenda, though Senate Democrats are now threatening to pass a bill without Republican support. Earlier, President Biden signed 4 executive actions on racial equality, directing federal agencies to address discriminatory policies in housing, criminal justice, and relations with tribal nations. They also aim to combat discrimination against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders as a result of the coronavirus pandemic.
We need to open the promise of America to every American. And that means we need to make the issue of racial equity not just an issue for any one department of government. It has to be the business of the whole of government.
Vice President Kamala Harris received her 2nd dose of the Moderna vaccine at the National Institutes of Health today. Also meeting with NIH Director Francis Collins and Director Anthony Fauci. The White House press secretary says starting tomorrow, members of the president's coronavirus team will begin providing regular news briefings.
The 2nd impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump took another step forward today as the members of the Senate were sworn in. Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
Do you solemnly swear?
Senators swore an oath as they became jurors Tuesday in the 2nd impeachment trial of former President Trump.
So help you God.
It comes a day after House managers delivered to the Senate a sole article of impeachment against Mr. Trump, accusing him of inciting the deadly riot at the Capitol on January 6th.
To me, what Trump did was the most despicable thing any president has ever done. I believe he should be convicted.
But some Republicans question whether the Senate has the right to hold the trial.
If the accused is no longer president, where is the constitutional power to impeach him?
Chief Justice John Roberts presided over the first impeachment trial because Mr. Trump was a sitting president. This time, it's Vermont Senator Patrick Leahy presiding.
Republicans say having the long-serving Democrat in this role reeks of partisanship.
Democrats brazenly appointing a pro-impeachment Democrat to preside over the trial is not fair or impartial.
There will now be 2 weeks of pretrial proceedings, with the trial set to begin the week of February 8th. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
President Biden told CNN off camera that he doesn't think there are enough Republican votes needed to convict, but the trial, quote, has to happen.
Well, still to come at 4, crimes against Jewish Americans is on the rise.
Some Jewish leaders are blaming the spike on President Trump. A look at the toll this is all taking, just ahead on Live at 4.
You're watching News 3 Now, Live at 4.
It's totally normal to have constipation with belly pain, straining, and bloating again and again. No way. More exercise, more water, and more fiber is the only way to manage it.
Is it?
Maybe you think it's occasional constipation.
Maybe it's not.
It could be a chronic medical condition called IBS-C. And time to say yes to Linzess. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It helps relieve belly pain and lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements. Do not give Linzess to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Change your thinking to IBS-C. If your constipation and belly pain keeps coming back, tell your doctor and say yes to Linzess.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Still hard to find a spot, just easier to park. Still the big move, just more moving. Still singing, just more in tune. Still the gang's all here, just less are we there yet. The Chevy family of SUVs, making life's journey just better.
Get over $3,700 cash allowance on most 2021 Equinox models. Plus, current Chevy owners with an eligible GM credit card get an additional $1,750 total allowance. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
At U.S. Cellular, we're building a powerful 5G network that works without interruption in the places you wouldn't expect. And with every plan at U.S. Cellular, you get access to 5G at no additional charge. So no matter where you are, U.S. Cellular's network always keeps you connected in the places you need it most. At U.S. Cellular, all of our plans include 5G and get unlimited data for just $30 a month with 4 lines. U.S. Cellular.
This does not look like a discount sofa.
It's not. Everything I sell is quality furniture, and I give you a discount. Bob's discount.
Interesting. I'll remember this for as long as I live.
Bob, you look so young.
Do you remember?
It's not discount furniture. It's quality furniture at a discount.
Bob's discount.
Get Bob's discount!
Only at Bob's Discount Furniture.
President Biden is encouraging a new effort to reopen schools for in-person learning now that COVID vaccination drives are underway.
But teachers in some cities and their labor unions are pushing back. They say it's still not safe for everyone to return to school buildings. In Chicago, it's a bitter school showdown on Sunday. The teachers union for the 3rd largest district in the country held a last-minute vote delaying teachers' return to school. Instead of heading back to class yesterday, teachers there will return tomorrow. That is parents concerned their children will not return to the classroom next week as planned.
How much should I prepare her for this if the, carpet's going to get pulled out from underneath her again?
Across the country, some 70% of students are using some form of remote learning. Around 20% are learning completely online. This month, the American Academy of Pediatrics released a statement saying children absolutely need to return to in-school learning for their healthy development and well-being. Adding, new information tells us that opening schools does not significantly increase community transmission of the virus. Stocks ended the day mostly unchanged. The Dow Industrials gave up almost 23 points, closing at 30,937. The Nasdaq lost almost 10. The S&P 500 was off 5. Some of the pro-Trump rioters who stormed the Capitol this month wore clothing with anti-Semitic messages, the latest sign of a growing problem in America.
From 2015 to 2019, anti-Semitic incidents jumped by nearly 124% to a record high. Some Jewish leaders say the growth of crimes against Jews intensified under President Trump.
Jim Axelrod shows us examples of the hate and the personal toll on those targeted.
Even among the many disturbing images the country confronted on January 6th, a Confederate flag paraded through the Capitol, for instance. Some were more painful than others for some Americans.
The future of the country is at stake here.
Take Audrey Glickman, a Jewish woman from Pittsburgh who had to look at rioters wearing Camp Auschwitz sweatshirts.
It must hit you viscerally when you see Camp Auschwitz shirts as part of January 6th.
Of course it does.
How could it not? Glickman is one of the survivors of the deadliest attack on Jews in American history. She was inside the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh that horrific October day in 2018 when a gunman stormed in and slaughtered 11 of her fellow worshipers.
Do you ever wish that what would come out of the Tree of Life shooting isn't more hate, but a collective wake-up, hey, we got a problem?
Absolutely. That has been my wish from the very beginning, that people would understand, but we've seen more shootings since then, more killing. People are not understanding. How do we make them understand?
For starters, understand the numbers. According to the Anti-Defamation League, acts of anti-Semitism started spiking in 2016 after a nearly 15-year drop. The most recent statistics show the highest number of anti-Semitic incidents in its recorded history. More than 2,100 acts of assault, vandalism, and harassment against Jews.
If you are alarmed looking at this data, it's because it's undeniable. Something is going on, and we're all concerned about it. Of course, it got worse.
Jonathan Greenblatt is the Anti-Defamation League CEO.
Jews will not replace us!
He notes the spike pairs with former President Trump's rise to power and says that's no coincidence.
Some of this, I think, is because we've had you know, a leader at the top who's been bullying from his different platforms relentlessly every day.
If you buy the concept that those who forget history are condemned to relive it, how much of your brain is given over to the possibility what we saw the 6th of January was just the beginning?
But what I would say to you is that what just happened is really, if you will, the end of the beginning. I think we're now moving into a dangerous new phase, and it's going to require government and business and civil society to work hand in hand, to lock arms, to push back on this surge of prejudice.
That history is front and center for Annie Polland, president of the Tenement Museum in New York.
Often in the United States, we study the Holocaust, which is incredibly important, and that needs to be studied too. But just as important in this country is to look at how anti-Semitism has manifested itself.
Let me see your stickers.
In the last few months alone, it's manifested itself in the form of swastikas on street corners in California and Virginia, a vandalized Anne Frank memorial, and a menorah shot with a pellet gun during Hanukkah.
When we see anti-Semitism rear its head in the form of the symbols, in the form of sweatshirts that say Camp Auschwitz, you know, that's a problem for Jews in America, but more deeply, it's a problem for all Americans.
Yet despite the spike in anti-Semitism, Audrey Glickman says that awareness not only breeds alarm, but also brings the hate out of the shadows. And in the bright light, there is hope.
There is always hope. There is always the possibility of going forward and doing better, even if it's small steps. It's a big country and it's a big world, and there are a lot of us, and the people who hate are not the majority yet. We can do this.
The Biden administration plans to restore funding to combat domestic extremism that the Trump administration had cut. As for President Joe Biden, he plans to appoint leadership at the Department of Justice that will prioritize the prosecution of hate crimes. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, Montclair, New Jersey.
Well, there's some good news at the end there, I guess. Something's being done.
Right.
All right, there's more to come at 4. If you're thinking about taking dietary supplements, make sure you know what you're taking.
Consumer Reports tells us what to watch out for in our supplements. Coming up after Dana's first warned forecast.
Nicorette knows quitting smoking is freaking hard. You get advice like, just stop. Get a hobby. You should meditate. Oh, eat crunchy foods. Go for a run. Go for 10 runs. Run a marathon. Are you kidding me? Instead, start small with Nicorette, which can lead to something big. Start stopping with Nicorette.
My lips get so dry and cracked, I need serious relief. That's why I use O'Keefe's Lip Repair. It's all-day moisture in one use and is guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked lips.
Also available in O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands.
Want to brain better? Unlike ordinary memory supplements, Nariva has clinically proven ingredients that fuel 5 indicators of brain performance: memory, focus, accuracy, learning, and concentration. Try our new gummies for 30 days and see the difference.
Who is USAA made for? It's made for this guy, a veteran who honorably served. And it's made for her. She's serving now. We made it for all branches and all ranks, whether they served one tour or made a career of it. We also made USAA for military spouses and their kids. USAA is easy to work with and can save you money on auto, home, and renters insurance. Become a member today. Call us for a quote. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
USAA. Hi folks, Joe Namath here, and if you're on Medicare, this is important. You're now entitled to eliminate copays and get dental care, dentures, eyeglasses, prescription coverage, in-home aids, unlimited transportation, and home-delivered meals, all at no additional cost. Plus, your zip code may have coverage with the Give Back benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every month.
I call to get dental, transportation, meals, and the Give Back benefit.
With this virus situation, I called to get everything I'm entitled to. I couldn't believe I was missing out on so many benefits.
With the uncertainty of the virus, you need to get everything you're entitled to. Millions of people have trusted the Medicare Coverage Helpline. You can too. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-681-4397. That's 1-800-681-4397 now.
How we doing?
Fabulous.
I wonder how the firm's doing without its fearless leader. You sure you want to leave that all behind?
Yeah. Stay restless with the icon that does the same. The RX, crafted by Lexus.
Lease the 2021 RX 350 all-wheel drive for $429 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Well, take a look at this. Unless you've been living under a rock with your eyes shut and fingers in your ears, you've likely seen Bernie Sanders the meme. In fact, you're probably burned out on Bernie, but memes, schmemes, what about Bernie the doll? A cute and cuddly hand-crocheted Bernie doll complete with the mittens that left millions smitten, and Sanders' signature Bernie bedhead is up for grabs on eBay to one lucky bidder. Bids started at 99 cents, but have already skyrocketed to over $16,000 and counting. The seller says 100% of the profits will go to Meals on Wheels.
That is amazing. And it's so tiny. It's like, why not make more?
I know. From 99 cents to 16,000.
That's a lot of meals, too, to help that organization. That's fantastic.
Good for the creator of this. And welcome to you. I didn't get to say hi at the beginning of the show.
Hello.
Hello. Charlotte's in for Susan this week. Good to see you. Snowy start to the day, Dana.
My goodness, yes. Got out, had a little bit of snow throwing to do this morning. It was right at Penny's belly as she was trying to roam around out in the yard. So it was one penny leg tall for us in western Dane County. That's the scene out on the patio right now. It looks like we're gonna have a few days to get this cleaned up before our next system really builds in. Then we have a few more opportunities for snow in that 10-day though. Take a closer look right after the break.
One call, that's all.
There is no way I could have done this on my own without Gruber Law Office.
They were phenomenal. They got our life back on track, and I couldn't be any more happier.
I would definitely go to Gruber Law Offices again.
Do what you do well, and that's exactly what Gruber Law Offices do.
I would refer the whole world to this wonderful agency.
They just put their best foot forward. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices. Call the champs. If you want to win, call Gruber.
So, what do you think?
I love it.
You never know what winter has in store. Ford SUVs help keep you prepared. Chilly mornings, you've got remote start. Slick roads, you've got confident control. Snowy terrain, shift drive modes on the fly. Whatever the forecast brings, Ford SUVs are built for weather. Choose Ford Credit Flex Buy on 2020 Escape. Get 0% APR for 66 with an increase in payments after the first 36 months, plus $3,000 back.
Right now, join Planet Fitness for no enrollment. $10 a month, no commitment. 2020 is over. Make your move today with tons of variety in our clean and spacious clubs. And spread out while you work out with cardio distancing and our new crowd meter. Plus, use our app to get moving anywhere. Your fitness is essential. Join for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. Hurry, this deal ends January 27th.
5 Madison area locations. Sign up for $10 a month. Stop in today.
Love lower than low prices? Then get more ways to save at Pick and Save, where you can find personalized coupons, weekly deals, and rewards like fuel points. All for prices that are lower than low. On food that's fresher than fresh. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It was was a snowy start to the day. Again, out on the patio, we measured about 7.5 inches. Madison officially at the airport, though, just about 4.5 inches. The airport tends to be just a little lower with those accumulation totals. Reports stretching through western Dane County and out again off to the west, the southwest, seeing those totals climb quite a bit higher. Lesser amounts expected for north and south of us. Portage at about 4 inches, Janesville close to 5 inches of accumulation. So I think most folks waking up this morning and having to do a little bit of cleaning up. And compared to where we usually are for this time of year, average for this date, just over 24.25. This event really pushes us up over the winter for so far close to 26 inches of snow for this season. Compared to normal, again, that's about 1.5 inches above average right now. So now we're ahead of schedule. And last year we were closer to 21 inches at this time of year. So we're ahead of last year and we're ahead of normal. We'll see how long that carries on with us through the rest of the season. Still plenty more time to see snow build in. Radar, though, quiet for us this evening. We'll have a few quiet days, a few cold, quiet days before our next chance for snow starts to build in. That system now pulling well to the northeast, bringing all of that moisture along with it. Behind it, our breeze coming in from the north and some high pressure keeping things pretty quiet for tonight and tomorrow. Same goes most of the end of the work week until we get, again, as we head into the weekend, that next system developing. Overnight temperatures will be dropping to the single digits. A cold start to the day tomorrow. And for afternoon high temperatures for your Wednesday, we'll be landing near 20 in the upper teens, close to 20 degrees. So a little bit below average. Not quite as windy outside, though. Overnight for Thursday, that's when we really have the chilly start to the day. Temperatures will be below average, and the saving grace there, we don't have much of a breeze to factor in, so wind chills will stay pretty close to our actual temp, as the wind should be pretty light for us early Thursday morning. When we have temperatures at 2 below, we really don't want to see those strong wind gusts coming through. Thursday afternoon, high temperatures again close to 20 degrees. So we're in a bit of a chilly spot for the next few days, but it's not coming along with any more snow chances building in. That's the good news for folks that were hoping for a little bit of a break after the wintry weather. Partly sunny skies for tomorrow, and again, a little colder outside. Our wind speed's about 8 to 15 miles per hour, and that's going to die down for us overnight as we head into Thursday. Our precipitation outlook and that 8 to 14 day outlook, very likely we're going to continue to trend above average, as we do have a few opportunities for more snow to build in. Again, we're already above average now for our snow for the season, so a few more chances for snow. That's really just going to hop us up there with those accumulation totals. 18 the high for Wednesday and for Thursday. Overnight low temperatures Thursday below 0, single digits again on Friday, and that next chance for snow developing late in the day on Saturday through Sunday. We'll see some minor accumulations this weekend, and for next week we do have a few more chances developing by the middle of the week as we see temperatures warm up a little bit more into the 30s.
Very active pattern.
Very active pattern. It's going to keep us, Gary and I, busy. We stay out of trouble when we're busy in the office.
And below 0, that's the first for the season, isn't it?
To see us below 0, that far below, yes.
Wow. Great.
Making up for lost time around here. All right, Dana, thank you. We get a wow from Charlotte. Scientists racing to save the world's most endangered mammals are turning to in vitro fertilization for help.
Najin and Fatu are the last of their kind. The 2 remaining northern white rhinos live under constant guard on a reserve in Kenya. To save the species, scientists recently harvested the mother and daughter's eggs. They're also extremely relieved. COVID travel restrictions delayed the procedure, nearly putting the entire project in jeopardy. The eggs are so delicate, they had to be immediately flown in an incubator to a lab in Europe.
So that we really add another 2 embryos to our already existing 3 embryos. So we have 5 northern white rhino embryos in excellent quality.
Combine the eggs with the sperm of male northern white rhinos collected before they died. Since Najin and Fatu are infertile, the embryos will be placed in a surrogate mother, but the clock is ticking.
Well, if improving your wellness is a New Year's resolution, maybe you're thinking about taking dietary supplements.
Well, before you click the buy button, Consumer Reports has an important warning about potentially dangerous substances found in some supplements sold online. Leah Lynchide reports.
Sildenafil, tadalafil, fluoxetine. Those aren't just hard to pronounce words, they're also active ingredients in popular prescription drugs. They're in Viagra, Cialis, and Prozac. So you may be surprised to hear that the Food and Drug Administration found these ingredients in some weight loss and sexual enhancement supplements sold on eBay and Amazon. Some of the tainted products sold on Amazon were even labeled #1 bestseller or Amazon's choice, according to a press release from the FDA.
It's against the law for a dietary supplement to contain any drugs, and they must accurately list ingredients on the label. What the FDA found were essentially hidden drugs in many of these supplements.
eBay responded to Consumer Reports saying the company is reviewing the site and will be removing the violating products. Amazon says it is reviewing the information from the FDA and taking action accordingly. Even if the companies take down the tainted supplements identified by the FDA, that might not solve the larger problem.
This is just the latest in a string of studies that have found undeclared and potentially dangerous drugs in dietary supplements.
If you take supplements, be sure to check the FDA's tainted products database to make sure your supplement isn't listed. And even if the supplement you take isn't on the list, you should still be cautious. Talk with a doctor or another healthcare professional about whether the ingredients may interact with any medications or supplements you're currently taking. For News 3 Now, this is Leah Lynchide.
If you experience any reactions from a supplement, the FDA wants to hear from you.
File what's called an adverse event report online. And of course, if it's serious, call your doctor or 911. And we'll be right back.
You never know what winter has in store. Ford SUVs help keep you prepared. Chilly mornings, you've got remote start. Slick roads, you've got confident control. Snowy terrain, shift drive modes on the fly. Whatever the forecast brings, Ford SUVs are built for weather. Choose Ford Credit Flex Buy on 2020 Escape. Get 0% APR for 66 with an increase in payments after the first 36 months, plus $3,000 back.
I tried a new laxative that's both gentle and fast.
New great tasting Dalcolac soft juice works naturally with the water in your body in as little as 30 minutes. Puts you comfortably in control. New Dalcolac soft juice.
Imagine facing Wisconsin's bitter cold winter without a warm home, or the blistering heat of summer without power, then having to make the tough choice between eating or meeting other basic survival needs. Unfortunately, over 200,000 of our neighbors in need will face this difficult decision with no place else to turn, including those who are now unemployed due to the COVID-19 crisis. Keep a neighbor in crisis safely in their home during these difficult times by supporting and donating to the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund today.
When you're the victim of an accident, it can feel like the weight of the entire world is on your shoulders. Why not let us take that crippling burden off your back? Habish, and Rotier. We fight for what's right.
When it comes to 2020, it's time to wipe the slate clean and get a fresh start now at Herzing University. Earn the degree you need for a lasting career. Herzing is accredited, transfer-friendly, and offers you the personal care and support so important during these times. We'll even waive your enrollment fee. A new year, a new career. You've got a clean slate. I'm possible at Herzing. Call or click today.
The modern farmhouse look is here to stay, and we have it for less at Slumberland Furniture. Start out with neutrals. Use a beige or light gray sofa as your base to build on. Next, mix and match metals and wood. Try adding contrast by using light with dark. Finally, add home-style pillows and unique farmhouse accessories. Play around and have fun. Get your current look for less at Slumberland Furniture.
Tonight at 5, some schools who have been virtual decided to call off class today. What went into those decisions ahead at 5.
As the last of the snow ends and the winds die down, colder weather arrives. By tomorrow night, low temperatures could fall to below 0. My News 3 Now First Warn forecast at 5.
And ahead at 6, Wisconsin lawmakers are set to decide whether the governor's mask mandate should be overturned. That and more tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
At downtown Madison, the snow has finally stopped, the cleanup begins, and the cold moves in.
1 year ago today, the world lost a sports legend.
Basketball great Kobe Bryant was killed along with his daughter and 7 others in a helicopter crash in California.
Chris Martinez takes a look back at the shocking loss and the legacy Bryant left behind.
On an overcast California morning 1 year ago, an unexpected tragedy. Basketball superstar Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna killed in a helicopter crash along with 7 others. College baseball coach John Altobelli, his wife Carrie, and daughter Alyssa were among the lives lost.
It was the most surreal day. It was one of the worst days, obviously, ever. But in a weird way, just the love and the support I got that day from so many people, I'll remember that part of the day, too. And it was equally special as it was tragic.
Within hours of the crash, the area outside LA Staples Center began transforming into a massive memorial. Countless mourners gathering from across the country. 1 year later, Bryant's Lakers family is still grappling with the void left behind.
It's a lot of things that die in this world, but legends never die. And he's exactly that.
In the days after Kobe's death, tributes in the form of murals like this one began appearing across Los Angeles. More than 240 Kobe murals have since been painted across the city. But beyond the tributes and memorials, questions remain about the crash and its cause. There was thick fog at the crash site. The NTSB immediately started its investigation. The FAA currently does not require helicopters like the one Bryant was aboard to have a terrain awareness and warning system, or TAWS. It's a device that helps prevent pilots from crashing. Bryant's chopper also was not required to have a black box.
The more safety equipment that we can have on helicopters and aircraft, the more information that we can give to pilots. In my opinion, it can only positively impact safety.
But since this was such a high-profile crash, many are hopeful the equipment will become mandatory.
It shouldn't take a high-profile accident for changes to be made. Lives are valuable.
The final NTSB report on the crash is due February 9th. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And helicopter air ambulances are required to have both TAWS and a black box.
After a deadly 2004 crash, the NTSB urged that all helicopters have TAWS, but the FAA chose not to implement that recommendation.
It's a sad anniversary, that's for sure. Well, still to come at 4, the slow rollout of the coronavirus vaccine.
We'll find out why it is taking so long and talk about the new mutant strains of the virus with Dr. Jeff Pothoff of UW Health when Live at 4 continues.
One of our favorite Portage families here at the Portage Furniture Store, the Ayers family, that has grown a little bit since, he says high five. That's right. Since the last time we were here.
We sure have. Austin and I, proud 3rd generation owners, and now we're working on our 4th generation. We've seen generations of customers come through, and I think we take a lot of joy in seeing, hey, my parents bought from your dad, or bought from your uncles, or bought from your grandpa, and now Austin and I get to enjoy that ourselves.
How much fun is it on the days you come back into town and the 3 of you are together?
It's very special. Like I said, the longevity from my dad and uncle started in 1940 to now. Very special.
We're very, very proud to showcase predominantly American-made brands.
Safe and pressure-free shopping.
We have a number of great lines, including Serta mattresses, Smith Brothers, FlexSteel, Lazy Boy, and England.
And not everyone has the Ayers last name, but everybody here, I know you guys consider family.
Yeah, we really have some wonderful people here, including, 2 salespeople, Rosie and Punky, who have been here with us from the very beginning, and we're really thankful for them.
Yeah, they really make you guys, they're the ones who make you all look good.
Yeah, they are.
No doubt.
And we need all the help we can get.
Yeah, well, he said it. I did. What are some of the biggest things that sets you guys apart?
The free delivery. Yeah.
They still got it. I was wondering.
We do.
Glad to hear it.
And on top of a first-class free delivery service, we're very proud of our huge selection of top name brand furniture at guaranteed low prices.
Well, with the free delivery, we've got a lot of stops, but I'm glad you're helping me. From the Portage Furniture Store, I'm Emmy Fink, and you're buzzed into Madison. He's excited.
Where can a healthier heart lead you? For people with heart failure taking Entresto, it may lead to a world of possibilities. Entresto is a heart failure medicine prescribed by most cardiologists. It was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Heart failure can change the structure of your heart, so it may not work as well. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. And with a healthier heart, there's no telling where life may take you. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto for heart failure. And trust your heart to Entresto.
We've been keeping a very close eye on traffic conditions, but it's been a no news is good news kind of situation with the Beltline this evening. East and westbound actually moving along pretty smooth. Some of the ramps might be a little slick right now, but not seeing any major delays. And as we bounce down to Janesville, actually downtown Janesville looks pretty good. We saw reports around Janesville of about 5 inches of accumulation overnight. 26 minutes to get from Janesville to the Beltline, 17 to get from Sauk City to Middleton, and Sun Prairie to downtown. A quick 9-minute drive this evening. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, Dana, thank you. After taking a break for Halloween and Christmas, seasonal-themed Peeps are coming back for Easter. The makers of the marshmallow treat, Just Born, had temporarily suspended production of its candy brands to protect its plant workers from coronavirus. After implementing safety measures, it resumed limited production in May. The brand tweeted yesterday, "We are back and ready for Easter."
Oh, thank goodness.
Good news through all this. I love them bouncing down the conveyor belt there. Yeah. We're learning today that the new Brazilian strain of the COVID-19 virus has been found in Minnesota.
So what does that mean? UW Health Chief Quality Officer Dr. Jeff Pothoff is back with us this afternoon for our weekly conversation, and he will also talk about the vaccine roll-off. Welcome back, Dr.
Good to see you.
So we've heard about this Brazilian strain, the South African strain, and the UK strain. What does this all mean?
Right. I think as it pertains to those particular strains, there's really only, two things that are important to know. All of them have a mutation that make them easier to catch. They're more contagious. The South African and the Brazilian strain also have a feature that helps them hide a little bit better from our immune systems, but evidence would suggest doesn't help them hide good enough where the vaccines are going to be ineffective. What it really boils down to is there's very little wiggle room in your social distancing, in your mask wearing. Close contact with someone with one of these strains is much more likely to get you infected if you have a break or an error in your mitigation strategy.
So it's so vital to get the vaccine out, but it has been slow going. Is there any hope that this can speed up?
I think so. Early on, we thought that the issue is going to be with the vaccinators having the logistical prowess to get these big vaccination programs up and running. That seems to be improving, but then we heard the news that we didn't know how many doses of vaccine we had. I think that's starting to change. We're hearing word of, more doses of vaccine being purchased, increased supplies available to states. Those two things coming together, increased dosages and better rollout of vaccination programs, means more people vaccinated.
Have you heard about any of the other vaccines that are being tried right now being super close to being approved, like Johnson & Johnson?
Yeah, we're looking forward to getting information from Johnson & Johnson on their vaccine efficacy, so effectiveness and safety next week. And then I assume, within the next several weeks, we should hear more about AstraZeneca, which has been approved in some other countries. And this is welcome news because the more options we have to choose from, the more supply there is, the quicker we can vaccinate people and have a day where we can get back to normal, hang out together as a group.
About an hour ago, President Biden announced that the U.S. government is buying 200 million more vaccines and increasing the rollout to states by 15%. How important is that?
I think that's really important. Initially, I think we thought that we had kind of unlimited doses available. It was just the rollout, the actual injecting in arms that was the problem. And then it started to look like maybe we were a little bit behind on doses. So to hear this news where we're purchasing more vaccine, we're going to increase the supply to states, that really helps us as vaccinators get injections in arms so that more people are protected from this disease.
What have you been hearing about adverse reactions to those who have received the vaccination?
Thankfully, not a whole lot. You know, with any vaccine, there certainly are going to be some people who have an adverse reaction. That's pretty common with vaccines. But with this vaccine, other than, you know, local reactions, sore arm for a couple of days, we're not seeing very many of those more severe anaphylactic reactions that require treatment, which is good news. So far, with lots of doses administered, this vaccine looks to be very safe.
Without any other circumstances getting in the way, do you see a day where we'll be back to normal, some sort of normal, no masks, be with groups of people?
Absolutely. I mean, every day, you know, we have that light on the horizon. It's getting brighter every day. You know, vaccine rollout started a little bit slow. It might push us back a couple months, but I do think by mid to late summer, maybe early fall, there should be a day where enough of us are vaccinated where we can go hang out together. We can go to a sporting event. We can have a whole bunch of friends over and not worry about whether or not we're putting them at risk for COVID. So it's getting there. It's going to be a little bit yet, but this pandemic does have an end date.
Okay, we look forward to that end date. Dr. Jeff Pothoff, thank you so very much for being with us today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doctor. We'll be right back with the final check of your forecast.
Millions are saying yes to Allegra, the #1 allergist-recommended non-drowsy brand. Allegra works 2 times faster than Claritin, and unlike Zyrtec, it's non-drowsy. Say yes to the fastest non-drowsy 24-hour relief. Allegra.
It's a fact. We use our internet and TV more than ever, with most of us spending nearly 7 hours a day online. So it's no wonder thousands of families are switching to Spectrum, because most families have up to 8 connected devices, which means they need even more speed. Switch to Spectrum Internet and get the fastest starting speeds for the price. 200 megabits for just $44.99 a month, with a free modem and free security suite included. Call 833-546-4499. When it comes to TV, we're watching more than ever. In fact, 80% of us watch TV every day. Spectrum TV lets you catch all your favorite sports, news, and more live. Plus, download the free Spectrum TV app and watch on your devices. Switch to Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-546-4499. The fact is, Spectrum has the best services at the best price. Switch to Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each with no contracts. We'll even buy out your current contract. Call 833-546-4499.
Happy Reuben wants to wish you a Happy New Year. This January, Rubens has received new and exciting furniture from all over the world. Stop in for a look at our new marble table or sink into a soft Danish-designed leather sofa. Rubens stores have hundreds of items for immediate delivery. Why wait? It's time to brighten up your home. Days are getting longer, and spring will be here in a few short months. Come visit us at our downtown or west side store today. All of us at Rubens wish you a happy and healthy new year.
Finding the right ingredients for a healthy lifestyle can be tricky. That's why SSM Health and News 3 Now are here to help.
Our Time for Kids recipe for health experts use online conversations and on-air reports to answer your health questions.
So tell us, what topics would your family like to hear about? What questions do you have?
Use the handy feedback form on our Time for Kids page to share what matters most to your family's health. And together,
let's take time for kids.
Hey folks, Wisconsin's legislature is seeing the highest level of black representation in state history.
Wednesday morning, we'll talk to one of those lawmakers on making history. We'll see you starting at 4:30 on News 3 Now this morning.
Waking up to stuff like this should never be a surprise. Watch News 3 Now First Warn Weather so you always know what's headed our way.
And as we look at this snow totals map stretching all around southern Wisconsin, again, those higher amounts and a nice band stretching from Platteville right through Dane County to just north of Milwaukee, where we saw totals over 6 inches, getting about 9 inches of accumulation for some folks. But again, it was a very tight cutoff line once you got north of Baraboo and north of the Dells, not seeing much passing through. Radar is going to stay quiet tonight. In fact, our temperatures overnight will be dropping quite a bit with a partly cloudy sky, so a very chilly start to the day tomorrow. Plan on those overnight lows landing in the single digits for early in the day. Colder temperatures for Wednesday, and then for Thursday, we could see that drop below 0, which I know Mark is so excited about to have that in the morning. We'll have a closer look at that during the 5.
I can't wait. Dana, thank you. We'll be right back.
We are the Thrivers. Women with metastatic breast cancer, standing in the struggle, hustling through the hurt, asking for science, not sorries. Our time for more time has come. Living longer is possible and proven in women taking Kisqali plus fulvestrant or a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor. Kisqali is the only treatment in its class with proven overall survival results in 2 clinical trials, helping women live longer with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali was also significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant alone. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Kisqali is not approved for use with tamoxifen. It's our time to continue to shine because we are the Thrivers. Ask your doctor about Kisqali, the only treatment in its class proven to help women live longer in 2 clinical trials.
My mom was a bank teller, but her hands were so crippled by arthritis she could no longer do her job. She applied for Social Security disability benefits. Like most people, my mom was denied. I'm attorney Don Becker. Don't be embarrassed and don't give up. My mom appealed. You can too. Disability law is all we do.
Call the Becker Law Office 1-800-254-7766.
Dear all-wheel drive, I'm your new co-pilot, Camry. Let's show the road what we've got. Snowy streets, we're coming for you. Icy grip, we're holding tight. Wintry mix, safety's the name of our game. Steady, Camry all-wheel drive.
Right now, you can get 0.9% APR financing for 60 months on a new 2021 Toyota Camry. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
When we hear a big storm's headed our way, some of us fall back into bed, some into fresh powder. Spending your day indoors or out, it's all about knowing what to expect. Watch News 3 Now for an accurate first warn forecast so you can plan your perfect day.
In today's Final Touch, Greek scientists on the volcanic island of Lesbos made quite the find.
Yeah, they discovered a rare fossilized tree whose branches and roots are still intact after 20 million years. The tree was found during roadwork near an ancient forest petrified millions of years ago in the eastern Mediterranean island and transported from the site using a special splint and metal platform. It's the first time a tree has been found in such good condition, complete with branches and roots. Lesbos Petrified Forest, a UNESCO protected site, is the result